Good evening, my darling batlings. I'm glad to be joining you once again on this lovely post-Halloween night. Unfortunately,
Ladies
while
and
this...
gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled mayhem to bring you this important announcement from the Injustice League. Yeah.
The fuck are you on about, mate?
What the fuck am I ever on?
Whatever you're on, I want some of that. I'm joined by JKR, in case you couldn't tell, by the opening gag, as he is wont to do.
Do you want to pet the kitty? Yes.
Yes, I want to pet the kitty. Pet.
Okay, number one, I am not a cat. I am not a kitty. I'm just a head of myself.
This is impressive. Disturbing.
Well, you sent me a picture of a particular kitty earlier.
Disturbing.
Yes, but I'm not that kitty. You know that.
How long before I shoot a man in the dick with a trank? This is Metal Gear Solid 1. They don't have non-lethal takedowns in this game. And they don't have location-specific body damage, so I can shoot him anywhere in the body, and it still counts the same in terms of damage. Glad to see you here, Cloud. Glad to see you here, Link. And glad to see you here, Psionic Hex. Yeah, we're going to be playing this on the Master Collection because while it's not, like, the perfectly ideal way to play these games, it's the most convenient at the moment, at least on PS5. You remember doing that to someone in Metal Gear Solid 3? That's a mechanic that was introduced starting with Metal Gear Solid 2, where, like, headshots and dick shots were one-hit kills if you shot them with a lethal weapon. And if you were using a tranquilizer weapon, then headshots, butt shots, and crotch shots would count as an instant knockout instead of the tranquilizer having to wait a few seconds to take effect. Because Hideo Kojima's a madman, in case you haven't noticed. Alright. Let's stop the Metal Hellsinger music and get into tonight's festivities. What better way to... It's like the Some Call Me Johnny Christmas song about Metal Gear Solid. Deck the halls with cardboard boxes. La 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 ho ho.
I'll be right back. I'm going to refill my water because I think I drank a little too much before stream.
I know Johnny, of course I do. He's one of my favorite YouTubers of all time. He's one of my inspirations to start making my own reviews. Alright, so Master Collection, it's a little weird. Like, each of the games is broken up into its own app icon instead of being from a single launcher. But it does have some neat features. Like, you have to download them separately, but they're free if you buy the collection, which is the only way to get these. The SGB reformed recently? Yeah, I saw, because he finally moved back to Philly. They broke up for a while because he had moved to Georgia. But, yeah, we've got every version of Metal Gear Solid, primary version, to be released. We've got, you know, international release right here. We've got the VR missions sold separately in 1999. We've got the special missions, which is the European version of the VR missions. And we've got Metal Gear Solid Integral, which is a Japan-exclusive updated re-release that includes the VR missions on a separate disc, but also brings over the English audio, some gameplay additions that were added to the international release that weren't in the initial Japanese release, and includes some brand new features that are not in any other version of Metal Gear Solid, like a first-person mode that you can play the whole game in, and a camera to take pictures with that you can save your pictures to your memory cards. Cool stuff. But for the sake of this, we're going to be playing the standard international version. Oh, and one more neat thing that allows is because, you know, famously Psycho Mantis reads your memory card to see what save game files you have. They give you 2 virtual memory cards that you can add virtual save data from other Konami games to, so he can still give his special dialogue based on what you've played. really neat feature they didn't need to add, but I'm so glad they did.
See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
By the way, it took me until this year to figure out that this opening jingle is from Police Knots, which I need to stream sometime. That's a really good point-and-click adventure game / visual novel. And now that as a fan translation, I can finally play it.
Nice.
The question is, do I play the PlayStation version or do I play the Saturn version? Because there is one difference between the two of them other than, like, PlayStation version having slightly higher quality FMV sequences. And that is the bounciness of the boobs increases with each subsequent version. So the Saturn version has the bounciest boobs.
If that's the case, I say go with Saturn.
Because, like, apparently at the time, like, the game was criticized for, like, how one of the mechanics is that you can sexually harass the female characters, which results in, like, an animation of their boobas bouncing. So Hideo Kojima's response to it was, with each subsequent port, to make them bouncier and bouncier. And Police Knots is actually where Meryl debuted, funnily enough. It's not the same character as in Metal Gear Solid, but a character named Meryl Silverberg, who shares a similar design, debuted in Police Knots before Metal Gear Solid came out.
You're to investigate whether or not the
And her Police Knots design would be used as the basis for her appearance in Metal Gear Solid 4.
What's the insertion method? We'll approach the disposal facility by sub. And then...
Like, those are... Like, that and Snatcher are two Hideo Kojima classics I need to stream sometime.
As close as it can. Dispose of it. From there on, you'll have to swim.
Gonna turn down the capture card audio a little bit, because it's a little bit loud.
Yeah.
Also, hi, Grandpa Max, as the voice of Colonel Campbell.
And one that I was a commander of.
Or, to people like me, hi, Galley Banish Gregman, as the voice of Grandpa Max. And, Colonel Campbell.
With his powerful psychic ability.
JKR here, being the absolute...
Beautiful and deadly shark.
Elmo Soup, hello.
Octopus.
Boing, 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 Mighty Eagle, yep.
Giant and shaman.
Welcome to, the beginning of the stream. I was just gonna say that,
Just an interrogation and a formidable and finally, in charge of them.
Wake up! Shake up! Why'd you leave your keys up on the table?
Snake.
Me being a fan, being an avid watcher of the Clone Hero community, I have a lot of attachment to specifically the table line from that song.
Anyone going with me? As usual, this is a one-man infiltration mission.
So many new chatters tonight. This is fun.
I know.
This is a top
I know,
secret
that's
black
fun.
op.
I like how,
Report.
I'm going to give you guys a forewarning. I am by no means an expert at this game. Don't expect any professional level play here. I just play games casually. I just play them to enjoy them.
Yeah, that's really what we do here. We're here for the fun of it. Nothing
Yeah,
more,
we just like
nothing
I just
less.
get my how do you use rations again? God damn it! Don't you dare get me started on that DSP stuff. Link, you're not new, but we got a bunch of first-time chatters all at once, which is interesting.
Yeah, we got a couple of soups.
You demand me to finish this game first try, no deaths. How about no?
No balls.
I mean, just for that, we're going to have to watch the briefing. No, I'm not going to subject you to like an hour of briefing material before getting into the actual game.
Oh, new guy. Big blue guy. Oh, you triple dog dare him, huh? Gee.
You triple dog dare me? Uno reverse. I do not know who this Mighty Eagle is, but they sound fantastic.
Twist his dick!
Be through here. Right now. I'm going to swat down a couple of bothersome flies.
Now, here's the thing. I could easily just play this on my PS1 and get a superior picture quality, but I don't feel like hooking up the PS1. Now, could I just emulate this and skip all the hassle? Yes, but I'm an idiot and didn't think of that before starting.
Hey, it wouldn't be an Arikado stream if something like that didn't occur to you. And that's why we love you, dude.
This is Snake. Colonel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's the situation, Snake?
Looks like the elevator in the back is the only way up.
Since I'm a,
Expected.
I should just emulate this game. No stupid side grounds and save states. Yeah.
If you need to, contact.
That is objectively the best way to play this game. Like, you don't have to deal with disc swapping. You don't have to deal with the blurry picture quality of the Master Collection. Yeah, I've got Duck Station. I just figured, you know what, I'd do console this time rather than emulate, just to see how this goes.
Okay, I'm ready to go.
Emulation for shame!
But yes,
I do have
Colonel
an
Campbell.
actual physical copy of this game. I just didn't feel well. First of all, my PS1 doesn't have a disc drive in it. Long story. And second of all, too much of a hassle to hook up my PS2 to get this game running right now.
yeah.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but the clap on my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards. Now let's see, do I go for the neck snaps or do I just be sneaky?
I think go for the next snaps.
Whoa, we're off to a good start already. It's okay, I got this. I got this. Just give him a little hug. Thank you for the follows. Jesus. See? I am like the flickering candle in the wind. All right, this part always I actually originally experienced this game through its GameCube remake, the Twin Snakes, because I was a little too young to play Metal Gear Solid when it first came out, like 1998, right? So I would have only been 5 years old.
Yeah.
Thanks for the well wishes, and yeah, just thanks everyone for the follows and popping in, and the fun start already. Ad popping up in 5 minutes. Ad popping up in about 5 minutes, so be on the lookout for that. I try to keep my ads to the bare minimum of what Twitch will allow, without allowing them to place ads on their own, because you know they'll fuck it up somehow.
Right.
All right,
Also,
just
Ghost
wait.
Soup, I think you meant you would watch his career with great interest. Not you will your career with great interest.
Now, this is not an English, lesson stream. Otherwise, I would have flunked that shit a long time ago.
Fair enough.
I mean, I was good at English in school, but, like, I grew up in the South, so I have an inherent disadvantage. Fun fact about Snake's design in this game, according to according to the notes that were given from Hideo Kojima, the character designer Yoji Shinkawa for this game, he should have the physicality of Jean-Claude Van Damme and the face of Christopher Walken.
And the voice of David Hayter, apparently.
Now just imagine Jean-Claude Van Damme with Christopher Walken's face.
Yeah, right.
Does that mean I speak French? I did take French for a few years, but I've gotten really rusty with it because I haven't had a way to practice it.
Yeah.
Like the one phrase that comes to mind, other than your basic greetings and stuff, is maintenant, je mange un peu de chocolat et je vais mourir.
Excellent, Snake. Age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
Et maintenant, serons.
I'm nice and dry.
I used to be much better at French.
Bear with it. It's designed
Shadow
to
Dragon, hello.
This is Alaska, you know.
Take it easy.
I'm glad that, like, obviously not the best way to play Metal Gear Solid 1 in particular, but I'm glad I at least got it on PS5 because holy shit is it apparently broken on PC.
I'm relieved to hear that. Already tested, huh? By the way, how's the diversionary operation going?
2 F-16.
Also, because we can't escape Jennifer Hale on these streams, that's Jennifer Hale as Dr. Naomi Hunter.
Nice. And for me, I know that voice of the general, or not general, sorry, colonel. I must say colonel. Is also the voice of G1 Preceptor.
Yep. I was going to say earlier when I was going on my tangent about Paul Eiding that JKR here, being the absolute Chad he is, got my copy of Evil Zone for PS1 autographed by Paul Eiding last year, and I've still got it proudly on display.
Nice, dude.
Evil Zone, for those of you that don't know, is like an obscure PS1 3D fighter that he voice acted in. It also has John St. John playing a tokusatsu hero, and God, what's her name? The original voice of Rouge the Bat. But yeah, she voices like half the female characters.
Left until their deadline. You've got to hurry.
Wow, you must be crazy to fly a hind in this kind of weather.
Who's that?
Oh, sorry. I haven't introduced you to yet. This is Mei Ling. She was assigned to us as our visual and data processing specialist.
Mei Ling is too precious for this world.
As well as your Soliton radar system. Contact her if you have any questions about either of them.
Nice to meet you, Snake. It's an honor to speak to a living legend like yourself. What's wrong?
Nothing. I just didn't expect a world-class designer of military technology to be so cute.
You're just flattering me.
No, I'm serious.
Damn, he's
I
smooth.
know I won't be bored.
Yeah,
I wish I was that smooth with the ladies as Solid
I
Snake
can't believe I'm
is.
being hit on by the
Then again, he's also, well, he's better with the ladies than Big Boss is, I should say.
You're very frank for a trained killer.
Looks like we both have a lot to learn about each other.
Yeah. I'm looking
Big
forward
Boss
to
only
learning
has
about
room
that.
for one woman in his life, as we
But
will come to
first,
discover.
Let me explain about your Soliton radar system. The bright dot in the middle is you, Snake. The red dots
Also,
are your
excuse
enemies,
me.
and the blue cone
Un
shape
mo-
represents
un momento.
the field of vision.
I'm gonna,
Be
Careful, Snake.
Sorry.
Genome soldiers have highly developed senses.
Okay.
I brewed a second cup of coffee, so I'm just gonna go get that
Don't
real
let them
quick.
see you.
Okay.
First, I want you to infiltrate the disposal site and look for the DARPA chief.
The DARPA chief was injected with the same GPS transmitting nanomachines as you. He should appear on your radar as
Nanomachines.
a
So it begins. So begins the biggest meme of the series.
If he's alive, that is.
Snake, your radar isn't affected by the weather, but if you're discovered by an enemy, you won't be able to use it.
Yes, it gets jammed easily, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's all made from currently existing technology. You won't be able to use it.
Keep in mind, this game takes place in 2005, so, like,
We'll be monitoring
not too far off from technology that ended up being available at the time.
you want.
Got it. I'll call if I'm feeling lonely.
Ever heard of Nanobreaker? It's also made by Konami. Yes, I have. I remember seeing a lot of magazine advertisements for it at the time. And then it just kind of flew under the radar when it came out. It was like part of that wave of Devil May Cry and God of War clones in the mid to late PS2 generation.
Saving data. Don't forget it.
Like the only distinguishing selling point that Nanobreaker had from anything else at the time was that it was like ludicrously bloody, and you could change the color of the blood.
Imagine yourself in that position.
But to my understanding, a lot of people have cited it as like a sort of spiritual predecessor to Metal Gear Rising.
Doctor,
Funnily
by the way,
enough.
sorry to disappoint you, but I did manage to smuggle out my smokes.
How did you do that?
In my stomach. Thanks to the shot you gave me that suppressed my stomach.
Okay, so he swallowed an entire pack of cigarettes,
To help you.
but how did he get them back out?
If you want to get in, there's the front door. It's the fastest way, but there's too much risk of being spotted by the enemy.
I can't just knock on the door.
Yeah, baby.
There's one sentry on the left and one on the
We're
right.
about to plot our approach into Shadow Moses. Also, as was just pointed... Also, I wanted to say welcome back, but also, as was just pointed out by Snake, the way he got his cigarettes in was that he smuggled them in his stomach.
How?
Because the shot that Naomi gave him that had like all the like drugs and anti-freezing stuff and nanomachines in it also suppressed his stomach
See
acids.
it from here.
My question is, how did he get the smokes out of his stomach?
Counting on you, Snake.
Like, which end did he get the cigarettes out of? You're welcome for that thought, by the way.
Sorry, I'm not being silent for the first information. I'm being silent because that little brat in the next room is barking this out.
I can tell. That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wowie.
A surveillance camera?
Okay, while this guy feels asleep, we've got to sneak. Like the song that recently came out and is absolute dog shit, but is still insidiously stuck in my head, like most Calliope songs. I go sneaky, neaky, 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 neaky.
Oh, jeez.
Snake, this is McDonald Miller. It's been a long time.
Master, what are you doing?
Hi, Cam Clark,
Quit being a drill
who's
instructor.
probably going to be appearing in a lot of my streams because I plan on doing
Been retired
Kingdom
just
Hearts
like you. Once in a
marathon
while,
at some
I
point.
Still help train the Alaskan
And he voiced Simba in those games, and he also did Simba's singing voice in The Lion King 2, and he voiced Simba in the Timon and Pumbaa TV series.
Oh, nice.
Well, I know lots about survival in a harsh environment. I've lived in Alaska.
Uses a modified version of Castlevania Lament of Innocence for its engine, and yeah, that makes sense.
Or fauna out here. My frequency is 141.80. Those mice are Alaskan field mice. Don't worry, they can't hurt you. Wild field mice don't have a thick layer of fat.
Pay attention to this upcoming line, because I just noticed that there's a subtle bit of foreshadowing right here.
I should learn from them.
Right
There's
here.
a dark side too. Sometimes the males will kill and eat offspring that's not their own.
To ensure the survival of their own genes, right?
Yeah, pretty brilliant program, huh?
Right there, planting the seeds that
Exit somewhere.
Liquid Snake is sort of like, I wouldn't say a eugenicist, but like is obsessed with his genetic heritage. And believes, and it also sets up like the way that the Les Enfants Terribles program was conducted that created the three snakes. 2 in this game, but we find out there's a 3rd. I need to play Nano Breaker sometime. It's one of those games that, like, I was interested in it at the time. I just never saw it sold anywhere. Plus, my parents would have fucking killed me if they saw me playing something that cartoonishly bloody. Like as I've said before, I was like a goody two shoes boy. Like I rightfully turned down a copy of the Guy game that my dad offered to buy me because he didn't know what kind of game the Guy game was. And it turns out that was good because the Guy game is now illegal to own. Like, I would have been, like, 12, 13 years old at the time, but I didn't want to be charged with possession of illegal adult material that depicts people who were not of the legal age. The Guy game's an interesting rabbit hole for a game that nobody should ever play. Like, it's just you don't know Jack with tits. That's all it is.
Okay.
Ugh, kinda damn cold.
And there we go, our introduction to the true hero of the series, Johnny.
Oh, jeez.
I shit you not, that man who's constantly either having to take a dump or getting knocked out is going to be very important later on. Not in this game, but in the series. Now, there's a whole Easter egg here that I could show off, but I'm not going to. Where, like, further down here, you come across a vent where you can see Meryl exercising. If you enter and exit the vent system over and over, you'll see her doing different kinds of exercises. And after she's gone through all of them, you see her exercising in her panties. Those glorious low poly 240p panties.
Hey, better than nothing.
Don't make me get my mallet. Do I need to get the mallet?
Who's that?
Yeah.
I got the mallet just in case.
I'm here to save
you. If you hit me with a mallet, dude, I'm just gonna blow.
Right.
You here to save me, huh?
Don't take that out of context either.
I'm the pawn they sent here to save your worthless butt.
Fuck you.
You're never beating the allegations.
In that case, hurry up and get me out of here.
Also, hello, DARPA Chief, voiced by Greg Eagles, who you probably know as the Grim Reaper.
Not the terrorists.
The terrorists?
Do they really have the ability?
Or, nowadays, Aku Aku.
The terrorists are threatening the White House. They say if they don't accede to their demands, they'll launch a nuclear weapon.
Sweet Jesus.
Is it possible?
It's possible. They could launch a nuke.
How do they plan to launch? I thought this place was just for keeping the dismantled warheads. They shouldn't have access to a missile.
What I'm about to tell you is classified information. Okay? We were conducting exercises with a new type of experimental weapon. A weapon that will change the world.
What?
A weapon with the ability to launch a nuclear attack from any place on the face of the Earth. A nuclear-equipped walking battle tank.
I want to talk to someone with like a mechanical engineering degree to talk to them about like whether a walking battle tank would actually be superior to one with treads.
One of the most secret black projects.
Because it's one of those things that seems awesome in concept, but would be like really stupid in real
Had
life.
a couple of run-ins in the past. So that's the reason you were here at this disposal site?
Why else would I come to a godforsaken place like this?
I had heard the Metal Gear project was scrapped.
On the contrary, it's grown into a huge joint project between Arms Tech and ourselves. We were going to use this exercise as raw data and then proceed to mass production. If it hadn't been for the revolution.
Revolution. I love how you can predict pretty much anything Snake's going to say because 90% of his dialogue in this game in particular is just him like asking one-word questions.
Your prototype. They're probably already finished arming the warhead they plan to use with Rex.
Oh no, here comes Johnny.
They're all experienced in handling and equipping weapons.
Hey! Shut up in there, will ya?
Nothing suspicious going on here, Johnny. No need to investigate. He's not talking to anyone.
But I thought that all nuclear warheads
What's going on,
were equipped
JKR?
with safety measures. Some kind of detonation code that you have to input.
Oh, you mean PAL? Yes, of course, there is a PAL. It's set up so that you need to input 2 different passwords in order to launch the device.
There are 2 passwords?
Yes, Baker knows one, and I know one.
Oh, it's Widget?
Baker.
Oh, well.
The president of Arms Tech.
That's right. Each of us needs to input our password, or there can be no launch. But they found out my password.
You talked?
Psycho Mantis can read people's minds.
Trying to get into a comfortable position. Unfortunately, this chair's starting to fall apart, so it's not as comfortable as it used to be.
He has psychic powers.
This is bad.
Finally stopped.
Don't
I
jinx
love
it.
widgets to pieces. Yeah, right.
If they find out Baker's password...
I think it's the neighbors next door she's barking at, honestly.
To launch a nuke anytime. But there is a way to stop the launch.
What?
Did I tell ya?
God damn it. God
There-
damn.
don't bother muting. We'll be fine.
Are you sure?
Even
Yes.
without the passwords, you can just insert the card keys and engage.
Widget's just providing her own commentary.
That?
Like, I love her to pieces, but it's like her barking, gets on my nerves after a while. It's like, I love her so
So
much, but
where
it's
are
like,
the
I just wish she
keys?
wouldn't be such a little barker.
She's just adding her own thoughts on the geopolitical ramifications of the Metal Gear project.
You need to insert a card into each one.
You know, as all 2-year-old dogs are known to do.
Yeah, right.
Where they might be keeping Baker.
Can't look at the same with the DARPA chief being DK and Snake being a balloon version and the Twin Snakes repainted.
Area that has a lot of electricity.
God, speaking of Games Repainted, they recently made an announcement on their channel that Games Repainted is ceasing operation after being on hiatus for a while. And, like, honestly, I saw that coming. Unfortunately, I can't do another playthrough of Twin Snakes Repainted because due to Google Drive changing how they operate
It works together with
during the past few years, like they sort of auto-privated most of the repaint packs, so you can't access them anymore, even if you have the link.
security devices.
The only one that I know of that's still publicly accessible is the Sonic Adventure 2 repaint.
Okay, I'm gonna get you out of here.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
You haven't heard any other way to disarm the PAL, have you? From your bosses or anyone?
It just said no.
So that's the White House's plan to give in to the terrorist demands.
That's their problem. It has nothing to do with my orders.
But what about the Pentagon?
Pentagon. What is it?
Psycho Mantis, that's what it is.
Nope, not Psycho Mantis. He's having a heart attack.
Oh, jeez.
And a neat detail is that while these heart attack scenes go on, the controller vibrates. So you can feel, as the Gaming in the Clinton years guy would say, you can feel him have a heart attack.
Dead.
We issue a challenge to the developers of Tomb Raider. In Tomb Raider 3, give Lara Croft breast cancer.
What happened?
I don't know. It looked like a heart attack.
A heart attack.
I've been saying for years now that, like, once I get back into regularly making reviews, I'm gonna do an April Fool's special that's in the style of Gaming in the Clinton years.
Level Red. You need the highest security clearance to get access to the complete file. You want me to believe that you're in charge of this, but you don't have complete access to the file? I told you, the Secretary of Defense is in operational control. I'm just here as your support. Snake,
I don't have time to debate. Get out of there and find President Baker.
Another neat detail that I really like, if you pay attention to the radar, you can see everything that Meryl's doing to knock out Johnny and steal his uniform.
Sorry about that. I muted myself because my mom used the echoes to announce for her to stop.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna go put her to bed. I'll be right back, dude. This is getting on my...
Okay.
I can only imagine how much it's gonna affect everybody else. Be right back.
All right.
Don't move! So you killed the chief, you bastard! Liquid? No, you're not. Don't move!
Is this the first time you ever pointed a gun at a person? Your hands are shaking. Can you shoot me, rookie?
I can't take this scene seriously because I keep thinking of the Metal Gear Awesome version where he just eats the gun.
That scared look in your eyes. They're rookie's eyes if I ever
I would
saw
say something about Johnny and Metal Gear Solid 4, but that'll be spoilers. Save that for Metal Gear Solid 4. Yeah, that's a ways off. I mean, at the rate I get through these games, there'll probably be like an actual port of Metal Gear Solid 4 to modern platforms before I get to Metal Gear Solid 4 in this lineup.
So we can get the hell out of here!
Looks like we'll be a little delayed. What are you doing? Don't think! Shoot! What are you waiting for? Shoot!
Don't talk to me like a rookie!
I'm telling you, shoot!
You need to shoot faster, rookie. I'm gonna steal all your kills.
Thank
She was
goodness
set-
for and quiet.
She was like, so anyway, I started blasting. Here's where we get our introduction to Psycho Mantis. After Snake staring at her ass, which is important.
Thanks for the help.
Wait!
Remember what that ass looks like. It's important for later, I shit you not.
Oh, jeez.
You fool! You've killed him!
I'm sorry, sir.
His mental shielding was very strong. I could not dive into his mind.
Now we'll never get that detonation code.
He'll need the assistance.
Yeah, I totally love to be able to do that old interpretation of Psycho Mantis that I did years ago for for that project we were doing that unfortunately never got off the ground. But
yeah, that never got off the ground. I mean, now that I have like a more stable group of people that I work with, I could totally get that do something like that. Yeah. I know how to do the effect now too.
Nice.
You learned that from Beat from Neo Twowie. I still need to play the original The World Ends With You before I play Neo The World Ends With You.
Some kind of hallucination. Is it from the nanomachines?
The World Ends With You is one of those games that's available on like every platform ever, but I've just somehow never played it.
Coming from Psycho Mantis, Foxhound Psychic. Think of it as a mental feedback loop.
So that was Mantis.
Yeah, it was psychic interference from Psycho Mantis while he was mind-controlling Meryl.
It's just funny because it's like, I think... Go ahead, sorry.
Just as a little bit of very minor spoiler. A lot of characters with seemingly supernatural abilities are later retconned to have their powers caused by nanomachines, but Psycho Mantis is, like, actually psychic. That's not a nanomachine fuckery thing.
Like, it's just somehow he has that naturally instead of just being augmented with it.
Yeah, and minor spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 5. We get to see Psycho Mantis as a child, and he's still psychic there. Although there, he's more of like a psychic parasite.
Yeah.
Like, he has no dialogue, but he, like, attaches himself to whoever has the most rage and hatred in the vicinity. And feeds off of that psychic energy.
So he's basically like a Red Lantern ring.
Sort of, yeah. Like, he's not called Psycho Mantis in-game. He's called by, well, that's where we learn his real name, which is, like, I'm gonna butcher this pronunciation because I know nothing about the Russian language, but it's like Tretий Ребенок, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which translates to third child.
Hmm.
And he has the gas mask as a kid, and also reveals that he's a natural redhead. You know, before he went bald or shaved his head or whatever he did.
Right.
Also, concept art shows that he has his junk pierced.
Oh, jeez.
You know, in case you wanted, like, Yoichi Shinkawa, he does concept art, and then he does, like, a couple sketches of what the characters look like underneath their clothing, so he can totally understand their anatomy. So, like, with Psycho Mantis, he shows, like, all these scars and piercings on his body.
Oh, jeez. So not only is he like a Red Lantern ring, but he's also a fucking Cenobite.
Well, he's wearing BDSM gear, more or less, so...
Yeah, that's, you know, that kind of helps the case in my, in my opinion.
He's alive. You're the Arms Tech president, Kenneth Baker, right? Don't worry, I'm here to save you.
Fun fact, almost all the voice actor credits in this game are pseudonyms.
Of course.
Because, they weren't sure whether or not the Screen Actors Guild would get angry at them voice acting for this game. It was actually following union guidelines. They just, it's just video game voice acting was so new at the time. So everyone except for David Hayter and Doug Stone went under pseudonyms.
Special Operations Foxhound. Revolver.
So like we see Patrick Lane right there, that is Patrick Zimmerman.
Ah, okay.
And when we saw James Flinders as Liquid Snake earlier, that's Cam Clark.
Now we'll see if the man.
And George Bird as the DARPA chief and Cyborg Ninja that we'll see soon. That's Greg Eagles.
Nice.
6 bullets. More than enough to kill anything that moves. Now I'll show you.
One of my favorite changes that the Twin Snakes does over the original in terms of presentation, just because of how hilarious it is that, like, they really play up how much Ocelot likes to spin his guns. Because, like, you saw how he did that, like, gun twirl with a dramatic pause? In the Twin Snakes, he does, like, a ton of gun twirls with the dramatic pause going on.
I love to reload during a battle.
Oh, jeez.
There's nothing like the feeling of slamming a long silver bullet into a well-greased chamber.
Ooh, slamming a long silver bullet into a well-greased chamber? Do tell. Keep in mind, this was written before they decided that Ocelot was gay.
Oh, jeez.
Specifically gay for Big Boss.
Oh, man, it's not gonna last.
So, like, there's a little bit of writing kerfuffles in Metal Gear Solid 1 exclusively, where it implies that he does feel attraction to women. Whereas Metal Gear Solid 3 onwards would make it clear that, no, he is gay.
I love the smell of quarter. You know, that sulfury smell.
But you will be the smell of your own death.
So you know they've got that Shadow Moses cologne out now that you can buy that's officially licensed?
That's a thing?
Yeah, it's an official Metal Gear Solid cologne called Shadow Moses.
Code is the boss.
It makes me think, like, it's like, if you want to smell like Shadow Moses, so what? You want to smell like damp concrete, rusty metal, and cordite?
My hand!
Got handed to the Cyborg Ninja. That's some slick moves. Come on, everyone give him a hand.
Stealth camouflage.
Put your hands together for the Cyborg Ninja.
Right.
Except for
If you say
Ocelot.
so.
Except for Ocelot. Yet for you, you'll have to satisfy yourself with the sound of one hand clapping.
You and that one-hand clapping joke.
That exoskeleton.
This is the character that would go on to be voiced by Rob Paulson in the remake.
Nice.
But here
Which
he's
I don't
voiced by
mean to
Greg
brag.
Eagles.
Yeah, which I don't mean to brag, but I did actually get you Rob Paulson's autograph for a poster for the Cyborg Ninja.
Yes, and I still have it. It's just not hung up right now because I need to get a frame for it.
Nice, yeah.
Can you talk?
Who are you?
That's 2 Metal Gear voice actors you've gotten me autographs from.
Gave them his detonation
Yep.
code. What about you?
And only one of them was for a Metal Gear thing.
Jim's.
I'm like, do I get my copy of Metal Gear Solid 1 autographed by Colonel Campbell? No, Evil Zone. That'll be better.
Yes.
And apparently he enjoyed that more.
What?
Yeah, I remember. Honestly, I should have just recorded it, but I didn't have the money at the time. I was working off like a budget back then, and I was like, you know, it was also my last,
How'd you do it?
you know, my last thing before I quit my day job. I decided to go back to school.
Psychic insulation. Everyone who knows these top secret codes has it.
Okay, so here's a hole in the DARPA chief story. He said that Psycho Mantis read his mind to get the passcode, right?
Are you sure you heard him right?
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Baker here says that every top-level government executive or, like, people involved in these Black Ops projects has surgical implants that act as psychic insulation so they can't have their minds read.
I tell you, he loved every second of it.
What happened to your arm?
Something sussy here.
Looks like you're more than...
Someone's being a sussy little baka, ooh-woo.
You're a funny man. So the DARPA chief, is he okay?
Dead.
What? That can't be. No, that's not what you promised, Jim. Now you want to shut me up?
Calm down. What's wrong with you? I just told you I was here to save you. I didn't kill the DARPA chief. He had a heart attack or something.
A heart attack? Oh, don't be a fool.
Anyway, the terrorists have both codes now.
Those boys are totally insane. They wouldn't hesitate to launch.
I agree, but what do they really...
Can we talk about how this is like one of the most underrated bits of Visions of the Future? Because this game was made in 1998, but it takes place in 2005.
The card keys.
Yeah.
Like, I love these whole, like, in the not-too-distant future ideas of, like, oh, this is what the future is going to be like less than 10 years from now.
That woman.
Yeah.
Woman? Who?
That's not too far off.
And with Metal Gear, it usually ends up being pretty accurate.
Soldier, it must
Yeah.
She said she had just joined up as a new recruit. They threw her in prison because she refused to take part in the rebellion.
A new recruit? Could that be the Colonel's niece?
I gave her the key. Looks like she managed to break out of
Now, this bit right here is a genius bit of, you could almost call it copy protection, but mostly just to encourage you not to rent the game or pirate it.
Codec.
Because it's like,
Here that is.
he's about to give Meryl's codec number so you can
She
progress.
stole it from the guard.
Ah.
If she still has it, you should be able to contact her.
Wait for
Sure,
it.
she still has it. What frequency was she at?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, it's... Oh, sorry. I forgot. Damn. Oh, that's right. It should be on the back of the CD case. Try to contact...
You're supposed to look at the back of the game's case to find a screenshot that shows Meryl's codec number. That's genius. Problem. The version of Metal Gear Solid 1 that I have is a later re-release that doesn't have screenshots on it. Oops.
Well, fuck.
But it's in the manual instead.
If there's anyone who can figure
Oh,
out
okay,
how to
that's-
stop Metal Gear from launching,
That's better.
Yeah, I got the one, like, I bought mine secondhand, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was secondhand from, like, it was part of the version I bought was sold as a box set of, like, Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. But I bought just Metal Gear Solid 1 from a retro game store that's no longer around anymore.
nuclear war isn't gone. In fact, it's greater than it's ever been. The amount of spent nuclear fuel and plutonium is increasing even today. Listen, have you ever seen a warehouse full of nuclear material?
No.
Drums and drums of nuclear waste stacked this high. As far as you can see.
What's depressing is that a lot of the stuff he's talking about in this game made in 1998 is still relevant today.
They'd try to pretend like it'll go away.
Essentially, yes.
Like the lack of a good way to dispose of nuclear waste.
Many of the drums are corroded,
Yeah.
with nuclear waste seeping out of them.
Unbelievable.
Not only that, but several pounds of muff are reported every year.
Excuse me, several what?
Material
Several pounds of muff?
proves that there's
Material unaccounted for, but still.
market in
Yeah,
nuclear
right.
materials. Furthermore, since the end of the Cold War, Russian nuclear engineers in particular are out of work with no way to turn. In other words, there's plenty of available nuclear material and scientists for making a bomb. We live in an age when any small country can have a nuclear weapons program.
What about the other superpowers?
Russia and China still maintain a significant nuclear presence. Complete nuclear disarmament is an impossibility. To maintain our own policy of deterrence, we need a weapon of overwhelming power.
That's another thing that's unfortunately aged very well, in that it's still relevant today. The idea that the Cold War never really
Our
ended.
industry suffered quite a blow.
And that we still need to maintain nuclear deterrence against other foreign superpowers
Hearing a lot about
that have their own
Yeah.
nuclear
takeovers among
arsenals.
the big weapons makers.
Yes, and after my company lost their bid to produce the Air Force's next line of fighter jet, the Metal Gear system was our last ace in the hole. That's why we pushed to have Metal Gear developed as a black project.
Black Project.
Secret projects paid for by the Pentagon's black budget. You can avoid a lot of red tape and get a great lead time on your weapons production. And no one can bother you. Not even those bleeding heart liberals on the Military Oversight Committee.
Well, fuck you too, buddy.
What he's talking about is that he got this project off the ground by bribing everyone who was in charge of approving it.
The results of this exercise
Yeah.
were analyzed.
I don't give a crap about you and your company.
Yes, that's about what I'd expect from a grunt like you. Here, this is what you came for, right?
What's that?
An optical disc. It's all here.
Back in the day where a floppy disk could save or end the world.
The only remaining
Right.
copy of the data.
What kind of data?
All the data collected from this exercise.
This is the only thing that I would say
know you were sent to get.
wasn't like spot on in terms of predicting the future, because by 2005 floppy disks were being phased out in favor of flash drives.
To your boss.
Yeah.
I'll give you my
Granted, flash drives were really small back then. I remember when they were first starting to gain prominence, and like you were lucky if you had one that was 512 megabytes.
They got my
yeah.
They don't want anything else from me.
But like by 2005, most people were not using floppy disks anymore. They were using other like anything other than a floppy disk.
Right.
Dark little secret.
Like even if you weren't storing stuff on a flash drive, you were probably using like a CD or a DVD just for the increased storage space. And, you know, floppy disks are also notoriously easy to mess up because they're really susceptible to being demagnetized.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that they're apparently easy to tear apart.
Doesn't Metal Gear use currently existing technology?
If you know, Chip Chase is anything to, I mean, tears the antimatter formula that's on a fucking floppy disk in Generation 1.
Oh no.
Well, in that era of floppy disk manufacture, they were using like the
did it!
The larger floppy disks that were made out of a thinner material, they were called floppy disks because they actually flopped around. By this time, they were using diskettes, which were smaller and made of hard plastic.
I see.
But, like, the central disk inside of the plastic container is still very easy to tear.
What the hell?
Like, the actual floppy disks were phased out because they were so easy to damage.
Oh, jeez.
Colonel, are you listening? Now he's dead too.
I have no
Of
idea.
course, Discord decided to go fuck itself again.
It looked like an
It's,
heart attack.
like, I can't see the... Oh, now it fixed itself.
There are lots of
The
drugs
picture went
that
all,
cause heart attack in large
blurry for a
doses.
moment. They're like,
For example,
like
potassium
some sort of
chloride,
interference. I
dark
don't know what
sides,
happened, but it's fixed
We
now,
won't
so
be able to
yay.
tell without
Okay.
doing an autopsy.
So that's 2 heart attacks in a row.
You and Meryl to work together.
Can I trust
A
her?
little too
More than you can trust me.
convenient.
Can we go for a hat trick?
With her.
Snake, there's a lot of electrical interference coming from
I'll
there.
give you a hat
Should
trick.
be okay if you do burst transmission like us, but
You have to
normal
buy me dinner
transmission is
first.
Probably impossible. Try moving away from that area.
I'm not that easy.
Get a hold of yourself.
Naomi, what the hell was that ninja thing? A member of Foxhound?
No.
Hi, Lulu.
Yes, we have no one like that in our unit.
Is that right?
Snake.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you outright. Which of the 2 options you gave me I'm going with for what I have to draw as my punishment. But I will say that I'm looking up references on like wolf anatomy for a school project that may help with this.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I know she's technically referring to you as Giggle Bitch, but the sad fact is that technically could actually refer to me as well.
Yep. Hey Lulu, did you see what Sif posted on her Twitter today? Because I can't discuss it too much. I ended up changing my mind. Damn. Ran into that. Oops. But yeah, I ended up deciding to do the werewolf instead. Just to challenge myself a bit. And because one of our current project in class is to draw either an animal or a monster. And what I'm drawing for that project is a werewolf, so I figured I'd put what I'm using in class to good use on the thing for you.
Nice. I'd actually like to see more of your artwork attempts, dude, because when I saw your Tron Bond sketch, that was actually pretty good. I want to see how
I've been
long
getting better since then.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what my professor says.
I figured you were getting better, but I haven't, like, that. So I would like to see.
Yeah, the main thing is, like, we haven't gotten a lot of our work back after he's graded it. So I don't have anything to show.
I see.
Like, the current idea I'm going with for, like, the monster I'm going to draw, for my class project, not for what I'm drawing for you, Lulu, is, like, a werewolf whose, wolf features are based on the, now extinct Honshu wolf of Japan. Where rather than, you know, looking like, you know, an American gray wolf or something like that, it has, like, you know, the slimmer, more stumpy frame of a Honshu wolf. Like, you know, the shortened snout, the shortened ears, less bushy coat of fur.
Nice. I've never even heard of such a thing. I'm more used
they've been extinct for a little over 100 years because they were hunted into extinction.
Go figure.
But they do have some living relatives. Shibas and Akitas are directly descended from the Honshu wolf. They were bred from Honshu wolves to be used for hunting and protecting livestock.
Nice.
Like, I'm obsessed with the Honshu wolf in particular, because one of my favorite movies is Wolf Children, and the werewolf man.
Yeah, I think I've seen like pieces of that where like this lady apparently bears 2 children by a werewolf.
Their father's a werewolf, and specifically he's a Honshu wolf, which nobody believes her when she says it, because it's like, what the hell? Honshu wolves have been extinct for a century. What are you talking about, lady? It's like this is what we in the trade like to call a cock-up cascade, ladies and gentlemen. Where the mistakes just pile up on top of each other.
Snake! Snake!
And this is exactly why I told the person in chat earlier that I was not going to even bother attempting a no-death run.
We don't do that shit here.
You're back, what'd you miss? Discussions about werewolves, and me dying for the first time. And possibly the fight with Revolver Ocelot. And, more evidence of JKR. Just, you know what I'm talking about. He's never beating the allegations.
Fuck you.
Fuck me yourself, coward.
I do not... I respect you, dude. I respect you and those who swing that way, but I do not. Oh god, I'm never gonna live that down, am I?
Nope. Lord, as Shadow Dragon just said, Lord Pegatron strikes again, huh?
Fuck you, Shadow Dragon.
Oh yeah, now would be a good time to call Meryl. 140.15.
Who are you?
I was really impressed with the way you busted yourself out of there.
The one from the prison?
You're the Colonel's niece, Meryl, right?
No, it's not him. Just exactly who are you?
Neither do I, Shadow Dragon! Neither do I!
All of this whole mess.
You came by yourself?
Yeah, you people did.
I don't need lectures. You're just like your uncle, you know?
How do you know my uncle?
We go way back.
What's your name?
My name's not important.
Aha.
Aha! So he's the main character from Hatred.
Snake?
My name is not important.
Legendary Solid Snake? You?
Or, God, what was the name that Yahtzee gave to the overly edgy protagonist from Hatred? Jeffrey Cuddle Trousers, that was it.
My eyes.
They're not soldiers' eyes.
And they're rookie's eyes, right?
No, they're beautiful, compassionate
I'll be right back.
eyes.
I gotta teach my Gyarados water gun.
Just what I'd expect from the legendary
God damn it, I
Solid
hate that.
Snake. You trying to sweep me off my feet?
Don't worry, you'll land back on them once you meet me. The reality is no matter.
Given how Metal Gear conversations usually go, he'll probably be back before this codec call is
Why
over.
did you look so surprised when you saw my face?
Because you look just like him.
You mean the terrorist leader, Liquid Snake?
Yeah, you know him? You're not brothers, are you?
I have no family.
So what's the deal then?
Who knows? Why don't you ask him? But first I want some information. You were involved in this exercise from the beginning. What exactly happened here?
I'm sorry. I was captured along with President Baker right after the terrorist attack.
That's okay. But what is this place? I don't think it's just a nuclear weapons disposal facility.
Boy, oh boy, it's just like them. Nobody told you anything, did they? Okay. You see, this place isn't really for disposing nuclear weapons. This base is owned and operated by
And
the
the
dummy
back.
corporation of arms.
I called it. You would be back before this Kodak call is over.
The development of metal gear.
Colonel.
And the next generation special forces were called here for the test launching of
Instead of the fuck is calling me at this hour?
Why Foxhound?
Because they're a special ops group used
un
to
momento,
handling
por
top
favor.
secret missions. They figured they could help keep it all hushed.
All right, are we back? Are we back? I'm on the wrong. First of all, there we go. That was yeah, that was one of the staff making sure I got my medicine.
But we must have fired nuclear warheads before. Why do
Because like we've got like 2 primary staff members here in charge of giving out medicine to the residents. One who like hands it to you personally before she leaves, and the other one who just leaves it out and hopes that you find it.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
This was the second one.
President Baker right after the revolt started.
Oh yeah. That's when he gave you the detonation code override keys, right?
That's right.
Amazing you were able to keep them hidden from the guards.
You saw it and not surprised. So you saw the thing that Sif posted on her Twitter, huh?
Baker, huh?
Yeah,
Holding up.
He's dead.
I'm not surprised that she had that animation. I'm surprised that she posted it to Twitter for free.
Was either of them sick or anything?
Like that seems like something she would put on her personal site that she would have to pay for.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, but I have no idea what.
Me neither.
Then again, it is nonstop, not November, so maybe she's just being festive.
You mean Dr. Emmerich?
Yes. Is he still alive?
Speaking of which, it's kind of disappointing that we're 2 days, 2 or 3 days into November, and we still haven't seen. We haven't seen anything from Risu about this year's nonstop, not November series.
Forcing him to work on the nuclear launching program.
So they'll need him.
Like to my knowledge, she hasn't said anything about it or why she hasn't started yet.
You're right.
Weird.
In case we can't override the detonation code in time, I need to ask him how to destroy Metal Gear.
You plan to take that thing on by yourself, Snake?
It won't be the first.
So apparently I've decided to, like,
what's the best way to get to the building?
quote unquote hate Japan for their Transformers manga.
Leads to the north.
Which one in particular?
The door there.
The Generation Selects manga.
But it's
okay.
I've got a level 5 car.
But
well,
what it do?
The doctor. You should.
What it did was
no
they
You're still too green. I want you to hide somewhere.
They apparently repurposed several figures from previous lines. Like apparently,
For just 1 second in front of your enemy.
Okay, you're familiar. Well, you probably have like a passing familiarity with Angle Moi energy, right?
Yes. The whole Beast Wars 2nd and Beast Wars Neo thing.
Yeah, it was basically the Japanese version of Dark Energon.
Before Dark Energon.
And shooting it
Right, exactly.
people are different.
It was basically Dark Energon before Dark Energon was a thing. Anyway, so apparently,
I've trained my
at least 3 characters that I have in my collection, or at least one for my display for the Unicron thralls and his subjects and everything. Apparently, the Netflix repainted Refractor, the scrap-based figure, got repurposed as an Angle Moi corrupted reflector.
Mankind's worst emotions,
and
worst traits come out.
Shatterglass Ratchet from the Gen Select's 2-pack with Optimus Prime is also among them as a corrupted Ratchet. And then we also have the Decepticon Mirage figure from the Netflix series as a corrupted Mirage, which thankfully I have the corrupted Mirage already. But now I gotta get a second fucking Shatterglass Ratchet for my collection. I already have one. I need to get another now, and that's gonna be expensive. And I gotta go find myself a scrap face because I passed him up when it first came out.
You're a real bastard, just like my uncle.
So yeah. So me being the obsessive lore nut that I am, have to fucking go out of my way and spend more money on stuff that I didn't want to begin with.
I would say that's where you should probably draw the line, because remember, Japan and the West have 2 different G1 continuities.
I know this area better than you.
But I'm a fucking completionist, and like I want to draw a line, but it's like
I'll contact you.
It's fucking difficult for me because it's like so much stuff that I want to get and fill out the shelves with. I don't have a problem, I swear.
It's not a problem. It's a feature.
Yes.
Snake, I unlocked the cargo door for you.
Thanks. Where are you?
Where I can see ya.
Don't move around too much.
Don't worry, I'm disguised in this enemy uniform.
You won't be for long with the way you walk.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Listen, Snake, the cargo door is like an airlock. It's equipped with infrared sensors. Be careful. If an intruder is sensed, gas is released.
Gas?
So we'll meet at the nuclear warhead storage building.
Wait, you said you'd stay put and be a good girl.
I changed my mind.
Don't get careless. That's when things always turn sour.
Sorry, but this is the only way I can figure out whether or not I'm cut out to be a soldier. I gotta get my hands dirty.
These guys.
I'm trying to remember who voiced Meryl in the Metal Gear series. I want to say Mae Whitman, but I'm not entirely sure. Because like it's one of those names where like I'm not sure what else she's done, but I'm pretty sure she's prolific in some sense. Like Kim, my guest, voiced Mei Ling, and she's done some other roles as well. I believe she was in No More Heroes as Holly Summers, if I remember correctly. Have I died yet? Yes, I have, because I am a scrub. I was victim to what I like to call the cock-up cascade, which is where the mistakes just pile up on top of each other. I probably should have come through here earlier to at least get the thermal goggles so I can just skip the mine detector. But I was not thinking. Okay, properly took that guy out then. Now I've got the suppressor. Now I can finally take people out from a distance instead of having to go with the next snap. Keep this equipped for now. Metal Gear Solid 1 is a little bit more difficult than the later Metal Gear games in its own ways. Like your health and ammo and item resources are limited at the start, but increase as you defeat more bosses. Whereas in later games, you start with your max health and ammo capacity. Well, no, that's a bit of a lie. Metal Gear Solid 3, you start out with less health as well, but increases as you recover from injuries. But Metal Gear Solid 3 is my favorite in the series, so I won't fault it for that. Alright, there's the mine detector. Might as well throw a chaff grenade just so I don't have to worry about getting caught by that security camera. Don't want to waste too many of them, though. We're going to need them for the tank battle. Because Snake's an absolute Chad who takes on a tank using only grenades. Debbie Mae West, thank you. That I knew there was a May somewhere in there. Now I'm just wondering where I got the name Mae Whitman from, because I know that I didn't just, like, imagine that being the name of a person that exists.
Are you sure about that?
I am 20% sure. Alright, now I just need to not get caught by the lasers. When I played the Twin Snakes as a kid, I didn't understand the concept of a stealth game. Because, like, the way I found out about this wasn't through, like, being interested in Metal Gear or hearing about Metal Gear through other people. It was through seeing a guide for it in Tips and Tricks magazine for the when the Twin Snakes was new. And thinking, this looks awesome, I want to play this. And I sucked balls at it because I had never played a stealth game before, so I didn't understand like that you were supposed to not go in guns blazing.
Yeah.
Oh, important call here.
Snake, be
ring, phone call.
around there. Use a mine detector.
Who are you?
Just call me Deep Throat.
Deep Throat? The informant from the Watergate scandal?
Never mind about that.
You're not using burst transmission. Are you nearby?
There's a reason that whenever you see parodies of Deep Throat in children's media, they never call the character Deep Throat. Like, not a parody of this Deep Throat, like, you know, just the name Deep Throat being used, because that was a pseudonym that was used by I believe he was an FBI informant that, like, broke open the story of the Watergate scandal and basically tanked Richard Nixon's presidential career. It was a mystery who he was until late in his life, but the name Deep Throat was used for, like, Snake's sort of, like, guiding hand, you could call him here.
Yeah.
But that itself is, like a lot of things in Metal Gear Solid 1, it's a callback to Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which I'm not going to be streaming because, like, I appreciate Metal Gear 1 and 2 for what they are. I just don't like playing them.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm of the opinion that you can skip straight to Metal Gear Solid 1 and still get the general gist of the story. Like, you'll miss out on some extra details that get called back later, but you can mostly just, like, read up the wiki synopses of Metal Gear 1 and 2 and be caught up.
Snakes don't belong in Alaska.
I'm pretty sure shirtless men don't belong in Alaska either.
I mean, technically, no.
Send him a message.
God damn, this shot really shows how bad the scaling in this PS5 port is. It should not look that blurry. Like, that's not a problem with your monitor, that's bad scaling on the Master Collection.
Go figure.
Because instead of, like, to my knowledge, they use bilinear upscaling instead of something more sensible like Nearest Neighbor or Lexos. That's getting into a bit more of a technical side that, like, your average gamer's not going to care about, so that's why I don't see it as a deal breaker. But, what it amounts to is you can just emulate it using DuckStation and get better results for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like this.
Or if you're like me, you can invest in a $300 scaler to get really sharp, pixel-perfect upscaling from actual hardware. Which I would do if I wasn't so lazy. Maybe for the next couple of streams I'll do that on original hardware. But for Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3, I'll be playing them on the Master Collection because they suffer less from bad scaling. Although they still do have some bad scaling, because in a weird choice, instead of having them run at native 1080p or even native 4K, like you would expect from a collection on PS5, they run at 720p, which is what they ran at on PS3 and Xbox 360 when those remasters were first released. And then they're upscaled to 1080p, and then upscaled further by the console to 4K.
Oh, jeez.
So it doesn't result in as sharp of a picture as you would want. Also, I think that's a record for how fast I've taken out the tank in this game.
Boss, I hope you are happy. He got the card.
We'll play with him a little longer.
You would be wise not to underestimate him.
What did you think of
Okay, so like here's a philosophical question for you guys, okay?
He is as if...
It's not really philosophical. I just wanted to say that to make it sound more smart. Given that Konami seems to be on a thing of remaking the Metal Gear series, starting with Metal Gear Solid 3, if they were to remake Metal Gear Solid 1 again, do you think that they would / should go with bringing back Cam Clark to voice Liquid Snake, or would they do what
Animal to be feared.
would they do what they did with the new Liquid Snake voice lines in Ground Zeroes and have Robin Atkin Downs play Liquid Snake?
Don't kill him yet.
He and I will meet again in battle.
Same prediction as always.
Yes.
Like, it makes sense why they had Robin Atkin Downs play Liquid Snake in, for those few lines. Like, why pay extra to bring in Cam Clark just to record some audio-only lines for a character that doesn't appear physically and is just basically an Easter egg? I don't say that as disrespect to Cam Clark at all, of course. I'm talking from a business perspective.
Yeah.
At the same time, and also because Robin Atkin Downs voices McDonald Miller. And, McDonald Miller. His name would be retconned to Benedict Kazuhira Miller. But if you've played through Metal Gear Solid 1, it makes sense to have Miller and Liquid be voiced by the same person.
You know, here's my answer here to that question.
When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wowie.
Well, the Ika-Bokum didn't play. Something must be
I played that earlier.
So, I didn't
earlier.
even see it.
You absolutely must.
It was on the screen, at least for me.
I missed it.
I've already programmed the nanomachine so that
This
it won't
focus
be
drink ain't making me focus.
What are you talking about?
Have you forgotten? That's where they keep the nuclear warheads. Can't you see them?
Yeah, there's lots of boxes piled up here, but are they all warheads? Yes.
So basically what this amounts to is in this room in particular, you're not allowed to use your weapons.
Like President Baker said.
Yeah, but
It's kind of bullshit because the enemies are still allowed to use their weapons.
Try to put on a pretty face for the media, but this
Okay, so apparently I just zoned out when the Ika-Bokum occurred.
than I do. Her frequency is 141.52.
like you were
Alright.
you were on your little tangent, so I couldn't. I guess you just didn't notice.
When am I not on a tangent?
True.
Serious problem.
Snake, never use your weapon on that floor.
Okay, I saw that one. Also, might as well do the only time I'm going to call Nastasha Romanenko. Because she is completely optional to get through this game. Have a good night, Shadow Dragon.
See ya, Shadow Dragon.
This is Nastasha Romanenko. A pleasure to work with you, Solid Snake.
You're the nuclear specialist that the Colonel mentioned?
That's me. You can ask me anything about nukes that you want. I am also a military analyst, so I have an extensive knowledge of weapon systems.
Okay, 2 times I'm going to call Nastasha Romanenko, and the other one's going to be shortly after this for
Research team.
an extensive history of cardboard.
We must not allow terrorists.
I shit you not. There's always at least one interesting call that involves the cardboard box.
You're a tough lady.
Those terrorists
That's
are
brutal.
serious about launching a nuclear weapon? The world cannot stand by idly and allow that to happen, and neither can I. Unfortunately, all I can do from here is provide you with information.
Hopefully that'll be enough. Another soldier here wouldn't make a difference anyway. Good to work with you, Nastasha.
Same here, Snake.
Okay, so quickly get into the box.
A cardboard box. A cardboard box usually consists of a thin pasteboard with a corrugated paper center. They are usually made of recycled paper. It was first invented in Europe over 100 years ago. It was originally used to absorb one's sweat when wearing hats. With the same amount of wood to make one wooden box, you can make 6 or 7 cardboard boxes. And since it's recyclable, it's highly economical. In addition, it's strong and easy to store. That's why it's widely used for packing. But to avoid damaging weapons and other delicate instruments when shipping them, they should be packed in stronger boxes like wood or something. Also, the crevices should be filled with styrofoam to prevent them from moving around. So, anyway, what's with the box?
Oh, nothing. No big deal.
There you go. The abridged history of cardboard boxes. Courtesy of Nastasha Romanenko. I go sneaky, neaky, 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 neaky. I think that's how the song goes. I can't get it out of my head, but I can't be bothered to learn the lyrics. Partly because, like, half of them are in Japanese. Actually, more than half. As is typical for a Calliope song.
Just a box.
Yes, I'm just a box. Keep going.
Yes, a walking box.
He didn't see me walking. He just saw a box. Up. Someone's coming. I've got to get into this sweet spot where nobody can see me. Thank God these guards don't have very good peripheral vision.
Oh, so, you probably didn't know this, Ari. You're not really on Facebook anymore. But, Richard Newman's birthday was yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. And he just posted about, like, 23 minutes ago. He says, well, what a lot of love I've gotten in the last few days. Thanks to everyone who expressed joy that I still inhabit the planet. It makes me want to stick around for a while. A long while. 77 down, many, many more to go.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Probably the one time I'll pop back on Facebook in in the coming times is on my birthday because God, I hate that I'm forgetting his name. The voice of Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, from Kingdom Hearts. From Kingdom Hearts 2 onward, I should say. Because Billy Zane voiced him in Kingdom Hearts 1. Can you look that up for me?
Sure. What's the character's name again?
Ansem, Seeker of Darkness.
Okay. Let's see.
Snake, watch out. That place is filled with gas.
Christopher Lee.
Also, the floor is
seriously?
No, that's Ansem the Wise.
on the northwest wall.
Yeah, it says Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't know why.
Yeah, Ansem the Wise first appeared in Kingdom Hearts 2, but Ansem Seeker of Darkness is a different Ansem.
Oh, okay. That explains it. Richard Epcar.
Richard Epcar, yes. Richard Epcar wishes me a happy birthday every year on Facebook.
Nice.
Because I'm Facebook friends with him.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, same with me with Richard Newman. A few other voice actors, actually.
I would love to, I'm sort of like Jobby the Hong, where I'm like, I would love to add, Scott McNeil on, like, Facebook or something, but we can't find him anywhere. We don't know if he uses social media or not. Like, Jobby because he wants to get Scott McNeil to, cameo in a, review. Me, because I'm a huge fanboy of Scott McNeil.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also friends with Lee Tokar on Facebook. Unfortunately, poor guy's losing his vision. Yeah.
I'm Facebook friends with Danny Antonucci, as I've mentioned before.
Yep.
Also, Maxwell Adams.
Nice.
Creator of Billy and Mandy.
Huh.
In fact, my buddy Nate had me act as a proxy to ask him a question once, which was who General Scar was based on. Because, like, I think Maxwell Adams got the question confused, because Nate was talking about appearance-wise.
Yeah.
Because he looks and has a similar voice to Rob Halford from Judas Priest. But I believe Maxwell Adams thought I meant, like, in terms of his personality and characteristics. And he said that, like, since Evil Con Carne was very heavily inspired by 80s TV shows like G.I. Joe and Transformers and stuff like that, that every evil dictator character needed to have a star scream. So that was General Scar, was his star scream. You know, the one that's always trying to overthrow him.
Yeah.
One of these rooms has the gas mask in it, so this area will be less dangerous. There we go. Nobody cared who I was until I put on the mask. I voiced Bane in a in Star Productions improv fan dub of Batman Arkham Asylum.
Nice. Yeah, which I've heard. I've heard your take, and I love it.
Like, Nate just told me to do, you know, the Bane voice. Like, the Bane voice that everyone now associates with Bane. Even if it's honestly not very appropriate for Bane. I kind of got sidetracked when I was delivering my lines. Because, like, I just went full ham on it, and I went less Tom Hardy and more Long John Baldry. And that ended up making it better, apparently. Like, according to what Nate told me, like, he loved how I went Long John Baldry with it unintentionally. And, like, we've talked about doing Arkham Origins as a improv fan dub, just doing the whole Arkham series.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously this is a ways off, and obviously my mind's probably going to change by then. But, like, one of my ideas is, like, I haven't gotten that far in Arkham Origins yet, but to my understanding, Arkham Origins Bane is more similar to, like, Nolan-verse Bane, rather than how Bane was portrayed in the rest of the Arkham series.
Right.
So I want to do sort of an inversion of that, where everyone's going to expect him to sound like Tom Hardy, but instead I go, like, fucking strong bad. Dear Bane, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Sincerely, Abdi LaRue. Well, Abdi, none of your freaking business. Fun fact, the muttering you hear here echoed over and over.
Yeah.
Like these creepy ghostly voices.
Right.
It is, it's a running gag throughout the Metal Gear series that started in this game. And it's it's a recording of Greg Eagles reciting like all the stops in this one train line in Tokyo, played backwards. And like echoed and distorted. But he's just listing like all the stops on this one train's line.
Oh, wow.
But with all how it's echoed and layered and reversed, it makes it sound otherworldly.
Nice.
And it pops up again in Metal Gear Solid 2 during, like, the fourth wall breaking sequences where the Colonel AI is breaking down. One of the things he can do when he randomly calls you is, like, recite all those train station stops. There he is, and there's our first piss scene.
Oh, yeah.
That's going. It's going to be a recurring thing where we see people pissing their pants.
What are you talking about? Oh, what next?
Christopher Randolph would be a really good voice actor for a lot of characters, but from what I've seen, he's really only played Otacon and his dad in the Metal Gear series and nothing else.
Who are you?
Neither enemy nor friend. I am back from a world where such words are meaningless. I've removed all obstacles. Now you and I will battle.
Now I know, like, the pro strat here is to use chaff grenades to make the cyborg ninja not be able to move, but I don't play that way. I like to give him a fair fight.
With these guys, it's like one of my Japanese animes.
Ah, he said the line!
Jeez.
What is it, revenge?
That's definitely gonna be the title of the streams when I start streaming Metal Gear Rising.
A fight to the death with you. Only in that can my soul find respite. I will kill you, or you will kill me.
Now, playing Metal Gear 1 and 2, is it, like, when I say that you can mostly skip Metal Gear 1 and 2 and get, like, still get the story overall.
Yeah.
The identity of the cyborg ninja doesn't have as much impact if you haven't played Metal Gear 1 and 2. I will say that. Because, like, the big plot twist that he's Gray Fox.
Yeah.
That's meaningless if you haven't played the games that Gray Fox fought Snake in. Where, like, this is a big twist because Gray Fox is presumed dead after Metal Gear 2.
Now we can fight as warriors. Hand to hand. It is the basis of all combat.
And also, this entire hand-to-hand fight with the cyborg ninja, it's a callback to two different bosses from Metal Gear 2. You fight the Black Ninja in Metal Gear 2 as your first boss. It's not hand-to-hand, but it is in an enclosed room like this when you're trying to find a scientist. And afterwards, the identity is revealed to be someone from a previous game. In that case, Kyle Schneider, the resistance leader from Metal Gear 1.
Oh, wow.
It's also merged with the penultimate fight with Gray Fox from Metal Gear 2, where it's entirely hand-to-hand. Well, you don't have to do it hand-to-hand here, but it encourages you to do it hand-to-hand.
Yeah.
Because if you pull out your weapons, he'll pull his sword back out. But the reason I say, like, people encourage you to use chaff grenades, like, I'm gonna throw one right here. Chaff grenades. They disrupt electronics. He is a cyborg. Do the math.
Yeah.
But he calls you out for it if you keep doing that. Also, the entire way that this arena has some destructible environments, really impressive for the time. it wasn't often that you would see, like, breakable windows and stuff in PS1 games. If you probably noticed that the game has black bars on the top and bottom.
Oh yeah, I just noticed that.
That was, like, this is something that wouldn't show up on, like, your standard CRT TV due to the overscan and bezel covering it up. But, like, the way they were able to, like, obviously it doesn't look very impressive now, but these environments are fully 3D modeled. There's no sprites anywhere except for UI elements. And, characters have, like, they don't use looped animations for, like, talking and stuff. They are manually animated to every cutscene differently, and, you know, just all sorts of stuff going on in this game that makes it sort of a technical showcase for what the PS1 was capable of. With no pre-rendered sequences aside from, you know, stock footage videos.
Yeah.
Hurry up and catch me.
What I'm getting to is, like, that takes a lot of processing power. So the trick that a lot of these games on PS1 that were really graphically intensive would do is they would intentionally leave the top and bottom areas blank, so they would just show up black, but on an old school tube TV, that would be covered up. Just due to how those TVs were made. It's only on, like, modern displays and PC emulators that you typically see these unused lines that normally you wouldn't have seen. What amounts to is, I think this should probably make sense even if you don't have an understanding of, like, how 3D rendering works. The less picture you have to render, the more easily it's going to run.
Yeah.
Spyro, the PS1 Spyro games and the PS1 Crash games do the same thing, where the top and bottom sets of lines in the image are blank. But in Crash and Spyro's case, they coupled that with using a wider resolution than what you would normally get on PS1 games, which, due to how old-school tube TVs work, would then be squished down to look like a 4:3 image. You wouldn't see it as wider than it actually was. But if you play it on an emulator, you get, like, a wide view. Damn. Second death. That was a close one. It's a little difficult for me to go on, like, technical rambles like that and fight a boss fight at the same time. I just have so much to say about, like, technically impressive PS1 games.
Fair enough.
Because I did study game design for a bit. I'm studying art and modeling now.
Nice.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again.
Also, I would, if I can get myself back into a reasonable shape, I would love to cosplay the Cyborg Ninja. I know how I would do it, too. Get, like, a morph suit or even, like, a wetsuit to use for, like, the, you know, the gray bits of the body, and then, for the, bronze bits, I would make those out of foam.
Oh, nice.
And I found replicas of, the helmet that you can buy on Amazon. Mostly as, like, paintball, headgear. Like, obviously, that's not the best way to cosplay a character like this. I'm sure you could do more impressive ways. But, I have a strict budget.
Yeah.
Like, when I cosplay Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Long John Baldry Robotnik, which is going to be, like, the big send-off to, me being massively overweight. I'm going to be making that mustache out of faux fur.
Nice.
Because, like, you need a cartoonishly big mustache for that you just can't get from those fake mustache sets.
Fair enough.
And it needs to be, like, the specific shape where it, like, looks less like a real mustache and more like paintbrushes sticking out of his face.
Yeah. I gotta frickin' fix my mustache.
Mustache. My glorious mustache.
Yes, because apparently it's been sitting in a bag for a few months, and the tips of the mustache have kind of bent out of shape. Like they used to stick straight up, but I gotta fix that now because they're kind of going all over the place. So I need to fix that.
Hey, no need to get all bent out of shape about it.
Boo!
Boo! You stink!
But yeah,
I'm sure you've got the soundbite lined up to play.
I actually don't, but I should.
It's on my sound alerts.
No, I know. It's just I'm cold, so my mind is thinking to myself, it's like, my mind is focused on staying warm.
Brain no worky right now. Too cold. Brain go burr literally.
Yes. Doesn't help that our central heating is turned off.
Oh. It's cold in here just because I like it cold.
Yeah, well, I mean...
but I'm sure it's colder where you
like,
are. I'm sure it's colder where you are than where I am.
Well, here's the messed up part. Outside, it's like, it's like 40s and 50s, so it's not that cold. But inside the house,
it's also the Windy City. You've got that wind chill factor to it.
Yeah, that is true, but we don't call the Windy City because of the wind.
Then why do you call it the Windy City?
Blowhard politicians.
Oh.
That's good, Snake.
I mean, that's a better reason than why we call North Carolina the Tar Heel State.
That's good, Snake.
I'm not going into that because I would rather not talk about the politics of plantation work and slavery and stuff.
Fair enough.
That's good, Snake.
Okay, stand away from... Damn, that still hit me!
But it also doesn't help that I threw my Decepticon insignia hoodie that Kier sent me for my birthday and Christmas a few years back. I threw that in the wash before we got on call tonight.
Oh.
Because I wanted... Yeah, because I hadn't washed it in a week, so I'm like, yeah, it needs a good wash.
That reminds me, I need to do my laundry sometime this weekend.
Yeah, I gotta make sure
The
I do my
rapping
laundry
man come to do his laundry.
I had to make sure that I get it done before Monday because I've got in the morning. I'm like, I need to make sure I got clean clothes for the next week.
I was gonna say something about like how I have class off on Thursday, but no, that's just gonna jinx it. Because every time I say that, oh, I only have X amount of classes or have no classes this week, so I should be able to stream more often. Every time I say that, I end up feeling exhausted the whole week.
What's happening?
It's just like how every time I say tune... It's also just like how every time I say tune in next... tomorrow night, I always feel too tired the next day to stream, so it's never tomorrow night. Also, if you're wondering why he's going haywire like this, basically he requires a lot of painkillers, more or less, because he was used as an experimental prototype for the genome soldiers that you're fighting in this game.
Gray Fox. Colonel.
Like
is Gray Fox.
On top of the fact that like that exoskeleton is basically grafted to him and keeping him alive. because
What?
he was supposed to have died in an explosion in Metal Gear 2. But yeah, they used him as a prototype for the gene therapy that is one of the central points of this game's plot.
Dr. Clark.
Yes.
Like, we didn't go over the briefing stuff, and that explains a lot of details that this game kind of expects you to know.
In his lab 2 years ago.
So what about
basically, like, the soldiers that you're fighting in this game are genetically enhanced using genes from taken from Big Boss's corpse.
Already dead.
Yes.
Because the U.S. military was working on isolating the specific genes that make for naturally better soldiers, so they can implant them into their own military to, like, genetically engineer their own perfect soldiers rather than having to train them.
Therapy techniques.
Naomi, why didn't you tell us about this sooner?
Because it's confidential.
That's why the troops that this Rogue Foxhound unit are leading call themselves the Sons of Big Boss.
The record says he died.
Because they've had Big Boss's genes literally implanted into them.
Ninja is Gray Fox. The question is, why?
And Gray Fox was the test subject.
Didn't know who he was.
Oof.
Are you saying that he's just a mindless robot? I'm not sure, but he seems intent on fighting me to the death. We'll meet again. I know it.
So you'll fight again? Until you kill him?
I'd rather not. But maybe that's what he wants.
Also, keep that idea of, like, they briefly mentioned that Dr. Clark was the one that ran the genetic experimentation. Keep that name Dr. Clark in mind, because that's going to be called back in later games. It's not important here, but it's a setup for later events.
We can't stay here forever.
Your uniform is different than theirs.
You're the Metal Gear Chief Engineer.
Also, based on how the soldiers in this game, their level of intelligence, would you have guessed that they were genetically enhanced?
Sorry, but no.
Probably not. But then again, I don't really pick up on those things.
I mean, based on, like, how you can easily sneak past them because they have, like, no peripheral vision outside of that cone that represents their vision.
Probably not, then.
I just twisted my ankle a little bit trying to get away.
That's more limitations of the PS1. When this game was remade on the GameCube as the Twin Snakes, they enhanced the enemy AI to make them, like, more aware of their surroundings, and gave them a larger field of vision.
Really designed for.
Now, where's the fun in that?
It's a mobile TMD.
Well, the idea of Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, is that it's basically Metal Gear Solid 1 running in Metal Gear Solid 2's engine.
Nuclear-equipped walking deathmobile.
Nuclear? What are you talking about?
The terrorists are planning to use Metal Gear to launch a nuclear missile. You telling me you didn't know?
And it's developed by the creators of the Legacy of Kain series.
Warhead into Metal Gear's TMD missile?
The one time that a Western developer made a mainline Metal Gear game.
Capability using a dummy nuclear warhead. The terrorists are just continuing the work you started.
No, you're wrong.
Poor Otacon had no idea that he was working on a nuclear weapon.
No. A nuclear missile on Rex?
So you really didn't know?
Otacon's an otaku, so he just thought he was making giant robots.
The president personally supervised the final assembly of the main unit.
And you may be wondering, how the fuck do you not know that you're making a nuclear weapon? The answer is,
I only know it's equipped with a Vulcan cannon, a laser, and a railgun.
Right there. It's not equipped with anything that seems to be able to launch nukes. Like, it's got a missile pod on it, but it's not a missile pod that's capable of holding nuclear warheads.
Extremely high velocities. The technology
it's more for, like, close-range combat. It's got a railgun, and it's got a laser, and it's got a Vulcan cannon.
In a joint venture between Arms Tech and Rivermore National Labs.
Also, this is another thing that Metal Gear's a little bit ahead of the time on. We still don't have railguns that function to this level. But this was predicting, like, 2005. 2023, we still don't have railguns that fucking work.
Nope.
Or at least on the scale that they could be used in military combat. That's another thing where, like, the other time you might have seen a railgun is in Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, that was pure science fiction, because we did not have railguns of that scale back then.
Yeah, when I heard the term railgun, I thought the whole thing was science fiction.
No, it's an actual technology. It's just we haven't gotten it to the point where it's, like, reasonable to use in combat.
So they developed a new type of nuclear weapon in a VR testing lab, huh?
Yes, but you can't use virtual data on
So, like, the idea of a railgun is that it uses electromagnets to fire its projectile.
Computers. If you link
The problem is, with current technology, you need them to be massive just to fire something, which is not viable for combat.
Nope.
What did our president do?
I'll be right back.
Launch that thing.
Bring the proverbial basilisk, if you know what I'm saying.
Aye.
I'm such a fool. It's all my fault. The truth is, my grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project. He suffered with the guilt for the rest of his life. And my father, he was born on August 6th, 1945.
The day of the Hiroshima bomb.
It's kind of funny looking back, knowing what we know about Huey Emmerich now. That, like, all we have here is that, like, oh, he was born on the day of the Hiroshima bombing. As we'll find out in later games, he's very much someone you should not feel sorry for.
I used to think that I could use
Otacon, yes. Huey, no. Hell no. Fuck Huey. Don't fuck Huey. He doesn't deserve to be fucked.
Science to help mankind. It's just in the movies.
That's enough crying. Pull yourself together. Where is Metal Gear? Where on this base?
The only thing Huey deserves to be fucked by is life.
Rex is in the underground maintenance base.
And I'm back with a blanket that I found in the library.
Welcome back.
System for the detonation code.
Are y'all nice and toasty now?
Maintenance base control room.
I'm hoping I'll be nice and toasty soon.
Yeah, you just missed a little bit of, like, the Emmerich family history, where Otacon's family is, like, innately tied to the development of nuclear weapons, and he feels that's a curse on his family. His grandfather was part of the Manhattan Project that developed the atom bomb.
Okay.
And his father, Huey Emmerich, was born on the day of the Hiroshima bombing.
You'll need me if you're gonna destroy Rex.
I don't.
And we'll get to meet his father later on in the series, and he's tied into less into nuclear development, but his work is still used for nuclear weapons.
Clear, I'll contact you by codec.
But unlike Otacon, we'll find that Huey is nowhere near as sympathetic of a character.
So what then?
I want you to hide somewhere and keep me informed. You know this place well, don't you?
Of course I do.
Like I was saying right before you came back, I was going to say fuck Huey Emmerich, but don't fuck Huey Emmerich. The only thing Huey Emmerich deserves to be fucked by is life itself.
With this, I'll be fine. Bad leg and all.
Good.
But Otacon is such a sweet boy, and he deserves happiness. He deserves better than a lot of what he's gotten.
Yeah. The engineer's okay.
He deserves to live a happy life with his husband, Solid Snake.
Very close.
There she is! Over there!
Oh no! Damn, they've spotted me.
All right, we should have just enough time to get through Psycho Mantis before I should probably be going to bed, so I don't throw off my sleep schedule further.
What did she?
So we'll at least get to see one of the most iconic moments of the game there.
Same green uniform.
Nice.
Now here's why it was important to look at Meryl's ass.
A disguise?
She had such a cute way of walking. She kind of wiggles her behind.
You were really looking.
Yeah.
Well, she's got a very cute behind.
Way of walking, huh?
We have to meet up with Meryl, and we identify her by the way she wiggles her ass when she walks.
You'll have to contact her when she's alone, huh? There's only one place where we can be sure she's by herself.
This right here is also a intentional callback to Metal Gear 2, where you meet up with a female operative that's working alongside you in the women's restroom.
It's security level 4.
While she's disguised as an enemy guard, if I remember correctly. I've only played through Metal Gear 2 from start to finish once.
Okay, nothing bothers.
Like Metal Gear 1 and 2, part of the reason I don't want to stream them is because I very much feel that you need a guide to properly get through them without getting frustrated. And I'd rather not be, consulting a guide throughout the whole stream.
Call me
Yeah.
Otacon.
It stands for Otaku Convention. And Otaku's a guy like me who likes Japanimation.
That's how you know this was made in the 90s. He says Japanimation instead of anime.
Yeah, right.
Also, this anime footage right here is from Police Knots, the Hideo Kojima game I've mentioned a few times this stream. There's also a poster for Police Knots behind them in this scene.
Get into science to make nuclear weapons,
That's what all scientists say.
I became a scientist because I wanted to make robots like the ones in the Japanese animes. Really, it's true.
I mean, that's certainly why I wanted to get into but not for something like that.
For world domination?
You're right.
Of course.
We have to take responsibility.
Like the robots on the wall, and then the other poster right there of the people sitting next to each other are both from Police Knots.
I won't take part in murder anymore.
Whatever. All I want from you is information.
Sure. I know everything about this whole base. Ask me anything about Rex or about this place. Also, with this stealth camouflage, I can sneak in and out of the armory and mess hall. If you need ammo or rations, just tell me and I'll bring them to you. I'm on frequency 141.12. See you later.
Oh, jeez. I know that, I swear, I guess they must have made a reference to this in, frickin' Sonic the Hedgehog from IDW Comics, because there is a character named Dr. Starline that works with Eggman after he gets his memory back from being an amnesiac, thinking he's Mr. Tinker. They unleash a metal virus that apparently turns everyone into what they called a zombot.
The metal virus arc, right? I haven't read that.
I
haven't read the IDW comics yet, but I don't really care about spoilers for them, because it'll probably be a while before I get around to reading those.
Yeah, I haven't read it either. I only know the basic bits and pieces from what
I just know that a lot of people like Dr. Starline as far as comic original characters go. Yeah,
I give them credit. That's actually a character. How he idolizes Eggman. Realizes that Eggman just doesn't actually measure up to the legend. They portray Eggman as a bit of an idiot in the scene where it was the whole bit is it all starts out with Starline and Eggman trying to find the right frequency, because apparently the Zombots can't. They don't seem to respond to wideband frequencies, so localized communications is all they can do. So they have to try frequency after frequency, and the first thing that Starline says is now trying frequency of 141.12.
That's definitely a Metal Gear reference.
It has to be.
It has to be. It's too specific of a frequency.
Right.
And while Otacon never worked on any viruses, to my knowledge, it would still somewhat thematically fit.
Yeah.
His sister Emma Emmerich worked on computer viruses. But Hal Emmerich / Otacon, I don't think he ever did, but he is a hacker.
Yeah. But I do like how in the comics they actually portrayed Eggman as he's a genius, but he's also a bit of an idiot. He doesn't take and consideration for the fallback of his experiments. So like apparently Starline is like, you know,
there's Meryl.
Starline is like, you know, he's like, you know, we need to. He's like, you haven't even created inoculation for the metal virus, and Eggman's like, well, shows what you know. There is no vaccine.
This right here is an Easter egg where if you run after Meryl in like immediately and don't take too long to find her, you'll find her, as you can see, with no pants on.
You're Meryl? There's no way you could pass for a man for long.
If you take too long to figure out that you need to find her in the women's restroom, then she'll be wearing her pants.
This is no time to try and hit on me, Snake. Besides, it's a waste of time. When I joined up, they gave me psychotherapy to destroy my interest in men.
Same smart mouth. You're Meryl, all right. Are you hurt?
Not yet. After all, I was disguised as a genome soldier.
So why'd you change? You'd be a lot better off.
Genome soldier. That was the term that they use for the genetically enhanced soldiers that you fight in this game.
What's that?
Am I nuts or?
Oh, this.
Are her?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I didn't know if I could actually say it on stream.
It's this is in Alaska. Of course it is.
Yeah.
There are no heroes in war. All the heroes I know are either dead or in prison. One or the other.
I don't remember much from the repaint of Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes, but I do remember that part where Snake says there are no heroes in war, but instead the subtitles just show a picture of Proto Man.
Never fought for anyone but myself.
From the Proto Men. There are no heroes left in man.
It's only when I cheer death on the battlefield. The only time I feel truly alive.
Also, detail that's kind of hard to make out in with, you know, the low resolution PS1 graphics. The tattoo that she has on her arm is of the 1998 era Foxhound logo from Metal Gear 2.
Happy we met up like this? How did you recognize me?
Because Snake is a former Foxhound agent.
So, something you like about me, huh?
Foxhound was like an elite Black Ops
I see. First it's my
group.
eyes, now it's my butt. What's next?
But like, you know, it has more of an impact with if you're familiar with Snake being a member of Foxhound in Metal Gear 1 and 2, and then like it's supposed to be a big deal that the bosses you're fighting in this game are also Foxhound agents that went rogue. That's why they all have like animal themed code names.
Either we destroy Metal Gear or
we override the detonation code. You got the card keys from Baker?
Card keys? You mean this?
Where are the others? There should be 3 keys.
This is all I've got.
Where could the other 2 be?
I have no idea, but they must be somewhere. If we can't find them, we'll have no choice but to destroy Metal Gear.
Metal Gear is in an underground maintenance base to the north.
Take me too. I know this place better than you do.
You'll just slow me down. You don't have enough battle experience.
I won't slow you down, I promise.
And what if you do?
Then you can shoot me.
I don't like to waste bullets.
Got it. I'll be careful.
You what?
I get the feeling that, sorry, I was clearing my throat, but yeah, I get the feeling that,
I hardly ever look at myself in the mirror.
I don't know if this was, like, what?
I've always despised
I guess what I'm trying to ask is, the Spider-Man video game from the 90s, the one with the symbiote business
the PS1 Spider-Man game, yeah.
What year did that come out? Do you know?
2000.
Your father's footsteps?
Oh, that was 2000. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that if I became
That was a very late era PS1 game, which is why it also came out on
I
Dreamcast.
thought I was until today.
Okay.
But now I
Because I know that Spider-Man 2 Enter
I
Electro.
was just afraid of looking at
Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro was 2001, which is why it had to be re-edited post 9/11.
anymore.
Right, that's why I figured as much. I just didn't realize what,
I want to know who I am.
like what year that. For some reason, I thought that was
I've lived the way I've
one.
lived
When
until
I thought
I want to know.
that. Sorry, I'm tired and I'm not thinking straight. But yeah, I honestly thought that. God damn it.
This isn't a training exercise.
What I'm trying to say is
there are no heroes.
I honestly thought that Enter Electro was like late 2000 and for whatever reason, but it makes more sense that it would be 2001, just prior to 9/11.
I found it in the army.
Yeah.
It's a .50 caliber Action Express.
But I can see, like, it has the same...
Huh. So I got a leftover, huh?
I guess polygon count is the Spider as this game, because the only difference is that that game, they all had closed fists.
Listen,
Well,
this since I was 8
Metal Gear Solid 1, like I don't know what the exact poly count is because, you know, that varies on a game-for-game basis.
Right.
They do have slightly different resolutions. Like, technically, they are both roughly 320 by 240 pixels.
It was inside the pocket.
The difference is Metal Gear Solid 1 leaves, like I discussed earlier, it leaves areas of the picture blank so as to make it easier to render and run at a more consistent frame rate. Spider-Man uses the entire 320 by 240 frame. And that's why it has, like, occasional slowdown and stuff like that.
What happened to the music?
Yeah.
I'll keep a lookout. Make sure
everyone having closed fists all the time is also, well, one, it's tied to budget, because a licensed game from that period's not going to have the same budget as a first-party title.
Fair enough.
From a big publisher like Konami.
Right.
But like Metal Gear Solid 1 was kind of revolutionary just for the fact that, like, the hands can emote like that, like they can open and close. They don't have facial animations because they had to draw the line somewhere. They made the bodies they made the body language more expressive than what you saw in the era.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, because I mean the same with like what I learned in Intro to Theater. A lot of, like, early Greek theater, like, not just early, but, like, throughout Greek theater, they used to wear, like, these huge, like, very detailed masks. So, like, not only could they not, you couldn't see their facial expressions, but they actually had to, like, they had to emote a lot of things with their bodies, and,
Mr. Foxhound.
like, speak very, like, very loud so that everyone in the audience could hear them.
Yeah, and the masks were built so they would help project the person's voice, sort of like speaking through a bullhorn.
Exactly.
Because, like, when you think Greek theaters were, like, open air areas, they weren't like they weren't an internal building. They were more like an auditorium than
like, basically it was an outdoor
like
thing.
An open air auditorium like you would see at some, like, rock concerts nowadays than a what we now identify as a theater.
Right.
There's your boy.
I remember I was trying to give this guy a Russian.
He has a slight Russian accent in the PS1 version, but in all future appearances he drops it entirely, because Psycho Mantis is supposed to be Russian. That was my direction, for you to give him a Russian accent.
Yeah, but it was like, I failed miserably and accidentally gave him more of a German accent than anything. Because I specialize in German accents, or stereotypical German accents.
All right, here comes the bits where those virtual memory card save files come in handy.
I hope that's not the only trick.
You ducked off my power!
Now, I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world. No, there's no need for words, Snake. I'm Psycho Mantis. That's right. This is no trick. It's true power.
You can hear how he has, like, a slight accent in this version, right?
I told you.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that he would never have this accent again going forward.
Now let me read your mind. No, perhaps I should say your past. You are a very methodical man,
the type that always kicks his tires before he leaves. You are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission. You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious, or you are a coward. Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul. I can see into your mind.
Here we go.
So, you like Suikoden? You like Castlevania, don't you? You like action games. You enjoy role-playing games. I see that you enjoy Konami games. You have not saved often. You are somewhat reckless.
That's true. I haven't saved once this whole stream.
You still don't believe me? I will show you my psychokinetic power.
Now, this bit's hard to show off on stream, but he makes your controller vibrate so much that it starts moving on its own.
Practice you can. That's good. Now I will move your controller by the power of my will alone.
Because this came out like right when the DualShock controller was first hitting store shelves.
Makes sense.
What do you think now? Can you feel my power now?
And I can confirm that my controller did just move.
I remember when I first played the PS1 game. I don't know. What the?
That's part of the boss fight.
Oh. Oh yeah, but
Former KGB psychic.
I remember when I first played on the PS1. I didn't like using the DualShock remote game controller that came with it because I couldn't get the hang of the damn joystick controllers back then. So I just used like an early one that didn't have joysticks on it.
Serial murderer's thoughts.
In any case,
I will say the new DualSense controller that comes with the PS5 is really comfortable. It's got a real nice weighty feel to it.
Nice.
Read people's minds. He knows every move.
Problem is, they're really expensive because they've got so much tech crammed into them that I can guarantee 99% of the PS5 library is not going to use.
Yeah.
So here's like the gimmick of this fight. Yeah, I'm sure you're aware of this, but just for the like one person out there who hasn't heard of the Psycho Mantis fight. You fight Psycho Mantis, he teleports around, he predicts all your movements. He dodges all of your bullets. What you have to do, which they make it easier in this Master Collection, thankfully. This is the one area where it's a little bit easier than playing on Duck Station. Swap to player 2.
Okay, yeah.
Because in universe, he's reading your mind by reading your controller inputs.
Right, that makes sense.
So if you're plugged into player 2, he can't read your mind anymore.
Because he was reading input 1.
Yeah. And he even addresses this after you beat him.
Nice.
Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes would amp this up even further. Because, GameCube has 4 controller ports. So, like, at first you just need to switch to port 2. But then he figures out that you're using port 2, so he starts reading port 2. So you need to start moving to port 3 and port 4. And if for some reason you don't feel like or aren't able to swap to port 2, 3, or 4, Twin Snakes also adds the option of shooting the masked statues in his room to break his ability to read into your soul. This was also
I remember the first...
This was also one of the first PS1 games to make extensive use of stereo sound. Where, like, if you... Especially if you're wearing headphones, like I am right now, you can hear where he's going to teleport based on, you know, stereo. This comes more in handy during the Hind B battle against Liquid Snake, because you're supposed to listen based on where the sound of the helicopter is coming from to tell where it is in the arena, so you can plan out where he's going to pop up so you can shoot him.
But I know your weak point.
But they planned ahead for this, because, you know, not everyone had stereo setups back in 1998. So there's a mono option you can turn on. And if you have mono enabled during the Hind D fight, like when you call Campbell on your codec, he and Naomi will be like, "What's wrong? You don't have a stereo setup? That's unfortunate."
But yeah, I remember the first time actually, because I never actually played any of the Metal Gear games before I had heard it, so I had no idea who Psycho Mantis was. But someone on YouTube did a stop-motion Beast Wars Manterror transforming.
Yeah, I remember you sending me that.
Yeah, transforming from beast to robot, and they used Psycho Mantis' voice to voice over it. And I thought, okay, that was clever. I was like, when I found out that was Psycho Mantis years later, I was like, okay, that's even more clever.
It's gonna be close. There we go.
Really hit him hard because he clipped right through the chair.
Colonel, your niece is going to be okay.
Thanks, Snake. I owe you one.
Now that Mantis is beaten, Meryl's brainwashing should wear off, right, Naomi?
Yes. But why did you go so far out of your way to save her? For Campbell's sake, or maybe it's because you like her?
I don't want to see any woman die right in front of me.
Oh, really? Since when did anybody's death bother you so much?
Naomi, it's true that Snake has killed a lot of people, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a heart.
It's okay, Colonel. She's right.
So, you used the other...
See? He knows that you switch controller ports.
A strong man doesn't need to read the future. He makes his own.
Perhaps so, but I'll read your future. To get to Metal Gear's underground maintenance base, you have to go through that hidden door. There's a hidden door behind the bookcase. The overland route. It's blocked by frozen glaciers. Go past the communication towers. And use the tower's walkway.
Why are you telling me this?
I can read people's minds. In my lifetime, I have read the pasts, presents, and futures of thousands upon thousands of men and women.
Oh, gross.
And each mind that I peered into.
Now, this is one shot where I feel that the Twin Snakes makes it a bit more effective. Because, you know, with the very low detail faces, it's hard to make out they're supposed to be, like, horribly disfigured.
It was enough to make me sick.
Every living thing on
The Twin Snakes with higher poly models and higher resolution textures makes it clear his face is fucked up.
Yeah.
That's why there is war.
But that's not why he wears the gas mask.
Why does he wear the gas mask? Because it's cool.
Psychic insulation. His ability to read minds is so powerful that if he doesn't wear something to insulate his mind from the outside world, then he picks up the thoughts of everyone around him.
Humans weren't designed to bring each other.
So kind of like early IDW Soundwave before he got his powers.
Thrown into this world.
Yes, very much like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the inspiration.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, because Soundwave was already depicted to be able to read minds originally in the Marvel comics, but as far as I understand, I think IDW was the first to actually, take that idea and run with it.
My mother died in childbirth. And he despised me for it. I thought my father was going to kill me. That's when my future disappeared. I lost my past as well. When I came to, the village was engulfed in flames.
Are you saying that you burned your village down to bury your past?
I see that you have suffered the same trauma. We are truly the same, you and I. The world is a more interesting place with people like you in it. I never agreed with the boss's revolution. His dreams of world conquest do not interest me. I just wanted an excuse to kill as many people as I could.
You monster.
Let him talk. He doesn't have much time left.
I've seen through evil. You, Snake, you're just like the boss. No, you're worse. Compared to you, I'm not so bad. I read her mind as well.
Meryl's?
I saw you there. You have a large place in your heart.
A large place?
Yes, a large place. But I do not know if your futures lie together.
Very poignant line right there, because it's a hint that this game has two different endings.
My mask.
He doesn't know if your futures lie together, because there's a point about towards the end of the first disc where it locks in whether you're going to get an ending where Meryl lives or an ending where Meryl dies.
Alone in my own world. I'll open the door for you.
And as far as official canon goes, she lives, but there's elements from the Meryl dies ending that are still canon.
This is the first time I've ever used my power to help someone. It's strange. It feels kind of nice.
And there we go. That's Psycho Mantis.
Let's go, Meryl.
Not the last time we'll be seeing him, though. He does have a cameo in a later game.
Yeah.
How could I let Matt
In spirit form.
like that?
If you're gonna doubt...
It's, I actually mentioned that, my friend Mistress Dove, was looking for examples of scenes or story arcs in video games that deal with spirit possession or body swapping. And I gave her an example of, like, minor spoilers for Metal Gear Solid 4.
Just wondering.
What?
There's a boss in that game called Screaming Mantis, who's also psychic. After you defeat her, Psycho Mantis appears, possesses her body, and tries to do the whole reading your memory card and making your controller move shtick again.
Death looks like.
Any family?
But because it's a PS3 game and PS3s use hard drives instead of memory cards, he's not able to read your memory card. And he gets frustrated and leaves.
So you are
Oh,
alone.
jeez.
Just like Mantis said.
And depending on whether you're using one of the launch model PS3 controllers or the later DualShock 3 controller, basically that determines whether or not the controller has vibration. If you're using a 6-axis controller, which is what the launch model PS3s came with, he'll not be able to move your controller. And that'll also frustrate him. But if you're using a DualShock 3 controller, which is what later PS3s came with, he'll get really excited that vibration is back before he leaves. All right. After this cutscene's over, we'll save, and then we'll see who we're gonna raid tonight.
Wolf dogs.
Okey-doke.
Half wolf, half husky.
How do you know so much?
I ride dog sleds. I'm a musher.
Context that is covered in the briefings. Snake was in retirement living in Alaska before he was roped into this mission. So, call Mei Ling.
Snake, your Soliton radar.
I know. I can't use it in a narrow space like this, right?
Right. I'm sorry.
No reason to apologize. Even the greatest masterpiece has its flaws.
Snake, remember what the Gaul said. The graveyards are full.
Now, this is a slight bit of localization change.
Snake, you're all alone and surrounded by bad guys.
In the English translation, every time you save, Mei Ling will quote a famous piece of literature or a famous
Both my parents
proverb.
are from Guangdong, China. Born and raised
In the original Japanese and later on in The Twin Snakes, which has a more accurate to the Japanese script, she instead quotes famous Chinese proverbs.
But to tell you the truth, I'd like to learn more about you.
The localizers decided that since she's not from China, she's American, just of Chinese descent, that it would make more sense for her to be like more well-read on more than just Chinese philosophy and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
That's also why, starting with the Twin Snakes and then later in Metal Gear Solid 4, she doesn't have the Chinese accent anymore. All right, so that does it for tonight's segment of Metal Gear Solid 1. Thank you to the new viewers that popped in to tease me for being a total no-ball scrub. Thank you to JKR for joining me tonight.
Of course, always a pleasure. I've got 2 suggestions for raiding tonight. I would say use guide. I would use guide the raid, but I don't have points.
Okay.
One is Ishra, and the other is Cloud Sato. So
We're gonna raid Cloud because for some reason Cloud Sato isn't showing up in my feed unless I search for them. But we're going to raid Cloud Sato.
Okay.
Without a doubt, as a way to make it up to them for not raiding them on the Halloween stream.
Fair enough.
See you in Cloud's stream, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, unpleasant dreams.
Good night.